Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the BAM Political Vigilante, the People's Channel. Thank you for supporting what we do. We've been demonetized almost 3 years now, mainly because I talk a lot about Epstein. Goof. I don't chase right-wing clicks. Oh, yeah. Also, I've got some live shows coming up, everybody. I'm in Hawaii, April 27th on Maui, April 28th, Kona, April 29th on Honolulu, and then Arizona. I'm coming to you in May, Phoenix, May 11th, Tucson, May 12th. Get your tickets at grahamelwood.com and sign up for our newsletter. It's a great way to support what we're doing because we've been censored. I've shown you how we've been demonetized by YouTube since February 1st, 2021, so over 2 years. I've had 5 Instagram posts promoting my new comedy special, Manifested, which is available at grahamelwood.com as well. It's very political. All these political clips of my stand-up comedy act have been censored by Instagram. They don't even want my ad money. So censorship is an important thing that we all need to be paying attention to. And even if it's something you don't agree with, when Alex Jones was on, I never watched him. I didn't like Alex Jones. I thought he said crazy crap, but I didn't want him censored. I was smart enough to go, I'm not going to watch Alex Jones. I'm not going to subscribe to him. I'm not going to follow him on social media. I'm not going to watch his videos because I know how those analytics help. They help this show. But censorship's dangerous. And it's really dangerous when you have somebody like Seymour Hersh, who I've talked about on this show and on my other podcast with Lee Camp, Government Secrets, how he uncovered, because he's an amazing journalist and has been uncovering stuff since the Vietnam War, that the Biden administration blew up the Nord Stream pipeline and tried to frame it on Russia, which it's such a dumb play, because why would Russia blow up their own pipeline? It's a revenue stream for them. Why would they do that? It doesn't make, it was the dumbest, like it just didn't make, just logically it didn't make sense. And the American media won't cover it. So much so they've even been censored. And this is the thing and I'm going to show you how Facebook, this is an article that Ben Norton just put out. Ben Norton, we've had him on this show, very good indie journalist. It's it shows you several things. The social media companies, big tech, Facebook, which owns Instagram, Twitter, which is owned by, parasite Elon Musk. And that's why they work hand in glove with the intelligence community and the propaganda machine. They're part of the propaganda machine. So it's so laughable. And it was so kind of great to see all of these people go when they're like, TikTok, the Chinese are censoring us and the Chinese are monitoring your data. Yeah, you all are doing this. But this is what Facebook did. So Ben Norton just uncovered this. Facebook censors journalist Seymour Hersh report on Nord Stream pipeline attack. So Facebook censored a report by Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Seymour Hersh on the sabotage of the Nord Stream pipelines between Russia and Germany, forcing users to instead read a website funded and partially owned by NATO member Norway. Ben Norton just put this out. This is so nuts. So while discouraging its users from posting Hersh's article, so if you tried to repost Hersh's article, Facebook was like, no, are you sure? Facebook instead recommended a website that is funded and partially owned by the government of NATO member Norway. Facebook has millions of dollars worth of contracts with the US government, including with the Pentagon and Department of Homeland Security. Well, let's look at this article. Big tech, this is from Vice, has made billions off the 20-year war on terror. Unbelievable. A team of researchers have published a new report detailing how Amazon, Microsoft, Google, Facebook, and Twitter have profited from the global campaign of violence. This was from September of 2021, right? This is from Vice. Vice can be a little neoliberally sometimes, man. So unreal. So we'll go back to this. The Nord Stream system consisted of 2 sets of pipelines, each known as Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2, that delivered natural gas from Russia through the Baltic Sea to Germany. And that's, again, so much of what this Ukrainian war is about. Why America has pushed, because and I did a video on this last year we want Russia, we want Russia to stop selling natural gas to Germany. I showed you a speech Biden gave last year where he was like, we want Germany and Western Europe to buy its natural gas from America, which is more expensive. And we also know this, and I've done videos how natural gas in this country, and I'm sure around the world, but I've shown you in this country creates earthquakes. It contaminates the water. I've shown you how the state of Oklahoma and Texas have had insane numbers of earthquakes since they started fracking for natural gas. It's bad for the water. It's horrible. But hey, it's profitable, so we don't care. So we're going to help start a war. We're going to push Russia into a war. And I always got to say this every time. I do not support Russia's invasion of Ukraine. But we helped push this, and we're not innocent bystanders. Nord Stream AG, the Switzerland-based international consortium that built and oversees the pipelines, is owned by 5 European companies. Russia's state gas giant Gazprom has 51% of the shares, but the other 49 belong to 2 German companies, a Dutch firm and a French company. In September 2022, the Nord Stream pipelines were sabotaged in a suspicious explosion. Right? This is the map. The suspected leaks. World-renowned investigative journalist Seymour Hersh reported that the pipelines were attacked by the U.S. government in an operation overseen by Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, and Undersecretary of State for Political Affairs Victoria Nuland. All 3 officials are hardline anti-Russia hawks. Nuland was the key architect of the violent coup d'etat that overthrew Ukrainians' democratically elected, geopolitically neutral government in 2014 and established a pro-Western regime. So we've been angling for this, and I've showed you this since 2014. That was when Obama was in office. I mean, Obama's tweets were nice, so we didn't care that he was destroying Ukrainian people's lives and backing neo-Nazis. So when Hersh published this bombshell report in February, so 3 months ago, if a Facebook user posts a link to report by Hersh, a notice pops up that says, before you share this content, you might want to know there's additional reporting from FactTisk. Pages and websites that repeatedly publish or share false news will see their overall distribution reduced and restricted in other ways. So they just flat out threaten you. That's a soft threat. This isn't factual. So when Seymour Hersh, as a young reporter in the 70s, revealed the My Lai massacre in Vietnam, which was covered up by the United States military, he revealed the cover-up, and he was revered by mainly anti-war. But the anti-war movement was like, he was awesome. And then he did it again in the 80s, and he even revealed the Abu Ghraib, I always mispronounce that, forgive me, in the Iraq War. And again, liberals were like, yeah, he's calling out the evil Republicans. When he calls out the evil shit that Joe Biden does, I don't know that we can get him on the news. So if you're a journalist, you should at least be going through his report and being like, wait a minute now, asking questions. But no. And Facebook puts this out there and then has you go to a NATO site. And FactTisk is a fact-checking website from Norway, which is funded and partially owned by the government of that NATO member state. This is the maddening hypocrisy of the American media and social media companies. So, like Lee Camp had it when he was on RT. RT is funded by the Russian government. We just want to be transparent. Well, then why aren't you being transparent about this? A NATO country funding, why isn't that? Why aren't you transparent about that? It's such bullshit. It's unreal. It drives me absolutely nuts. FactTisk discloses that one of its owners and main funders is NRK, the Norwegian Broadcasting Corporation, a state-owned media outlet. So why aren't we calling? So a Norwegian that's state-owned. Why aren't we? So there means they're going to be biased. They're going to be pro-NATO. No one on this Norwegian state-owned broadcasting corporation is going to be like, yeah, maybe NATO's wrong here. Maybe NATO keeps expanding. It's been expanding since, since its charter in the 50s, but since 1998, NATO's been expanding east and threatening Russia, even before Putin got into power. Maybe this is bad. This Norwegian broadcasting company isn't going to show you a map of all of the American and NATO bases surrounding Russia. I doubt this broadcasting company, just like Facebook and MSNBC and CNN and Fox, they're not going to show the interview with Putin from a year ago where he said, if I tried to put a base in Canada, America would go nuts. If China tried to put a base in Mexico, America would go nuts. So why is this okay? We're not even allowed to hear that? NRK is Norway's biggest media house. The broadcaster is state-owned, and the parliament has given the mandate and the ownership role to the Ministry of Culture. NRK is publicly financed 97% by an individual tax everybody in Norway has to pay. Despite attacks on Hersh, the U.S. government and media failed to provide an alternative explanation. That's the other thing. They just say, that's when you know someone's right. They're onto something. When they're attacking Hersh, he's a nutbag, he's a smear. But then they're not saying, if Hersh was wrong, there would be evidence to say Seymour Hersh is wrong. He said he made this, and this claim. They're wrong because we have evidence to show you that Hersh is wrong. So that's how you know, right? It's like when if you accuse me of whatever, being a sellout I've been accused of being a sellout to Big Pharma, where I can show you I have no money. If I was selling out to Big Pharma, I would have big paychecks. I mean, there'd be obvious evidence of me doing that. No, there's no advertisers on this show. I'm still in my apartment. I've been demonetized. I got a little bit of Patreon money coming, right? So there's clear evidence. The Hersh won a Pulitzer Prize for exposing the 1968 My Lai massacre in Vietnam, in which the U.S. military killed hundreds of civilians. The U.S. government had denied the massacre, although it was later proven to have happened. Washington initially denied Hersh's blockbuster 2000 report exposing the U.S. military use of torture at Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq, which was similarly proven to be correct. So, in response to his report of the Nord Stream attacks, anonymous U.S. government officials used the New York Times to undermine the reporter, instead blaming an unidentified pro-Ukrainian group, which they claimed was not linked to the Ukrainian government or any other NATO member state. Washington and its allies and the corporate media have been desperate to smear Hersh, nitpicking over minor details he may have mistakenly reported, but they have utterly failed to provide any tangible evidence or compelling alternative explanation of how the Nord Stream pipelines were destroyed. They've tried to say, what were they going to say? Aliens are going to get them. Alien balloons got it. It would be extremely difficult for a small ragtag pro-Ukrainian group to sabotage these pipelines. The attack clearly involved a lot of planning, because the pipelines are 50 to 100 meters below below the sea level, below the surface of the water. Couple of this takes a U.S. military operation. And then we censor Russian and Iranian governments out for it. So we don't have a free press. And this is evidence of that. So, I think Ben Norton, who's been on the show, I'll try to get him back on the show for doing that article. And it's just more evidence. And again, they're smearing every time Seymour Hersh uncovers some crime by the United States military, he's smeared, and then he's later proven to be correct. And the American media is now so bought and paid for, including social media, that they won't even let you go on Facebook right now and try to post Seymour Hersh's Substack on this that came out in February and see what happens. See what happens. And then they threaten to throttle you. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. Join our newsletter, everybody, because if I have a strong email list, I can have direct contact to you and I won't be throttled and censored by the big tech companies, which I have been, right? I've had ads rejected by Instagram, which is also Facebook rejects them as well. They've suppressed me. They've throttled me. So if you sign up for my newsletter, it's free to sign up. You can add a little thing of your zip code so I know what part of the country you live in. So when I come there to do live shows, I've got some live shows coming up, like I said at the top of the video. Go to grahamelwood.com. It's free to sign up, and you get a free smoothie recipe for signing up. And then I can email you every month and let you know what's going on. And when I come to your city, then, and you can use a Yahoo email and a zip code that's 20 miles away from where you live or whatever, just so it's close. I get it. I know a lot of you don't trust. I get it. But they can't take away my email list. They could pull me off of YouTube. They could ban me from all these. They can, make TikTok illegal. They could throw me off of Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, but they can't get rid of my email list. Do you see how important that is? So please support what I'm doing. The scroll's below. Support us on Venmo, on Patreon, on Rockfin. I have a P.O. box on my website as well. Some of you like to support the show anonymously. I have merchandise that you can get this cool logo on t-shirts and mugs and stuff like that. All of that helps support what we're doing here. This is the People's Channel. I cannot do it without you. I get no sponsorship. I don't have billionaires giving me money every month. I don't have advertisers. I don't have any of that. So thanks for supporting what we do. Sign up for the newsletter. Go to grahamelwood.com, watch my special Manifest It, and please come out to a live show because I love meeting you guys after the shows. I love meeting you in person. It's great. Follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth, and shave your knuckles for justice. Boom. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching. We are still in our 9th month of demonetization from YouTube. So support what we're doing at patreon.com/GrahamElwood or rockfin.com/GrahamElwood, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. It's free to sign up, and there's a premium level at $10 a month. And for that, you get everybody on the platform's premium content. Myself, Lee Camp, Ron Placone, Jimmy Dore, Whitney Webb, Kim Iverson, Abby Martin, and many, many others. You can also support what we're doing at Venmo at Graham-Elwood and go to grahamelwood.com. We have a PayPal button and a P.O. box. I also have crypto wallets, which are all in the show notes. Thanks for supporting what we do.